have, the banking
right.
windows.
Yeah.
BA didn't have to start with, did they? No.
No,
Was that as a result of the complaints from the pilots? So you couldn't see where you were going when you were banked, or what?
No, that was old Davis.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never thought it made any bloody difference.
Except you got
the sun came in a bit.
Except you got sunburn.
That's why they put the blind on, yeah.
Yeah. And actually, this is an odd thing too.
Have you noticed something oddball on that as well? There's two.
Got two artificial risers.
That's,
What
yeah.
have you got two artificial risers for?
We don't know. The
The
turn.
standby one was over here.
Yeah. The turn indicator's missing off of the driver's side. The co-driver's got one, but the driver hasn't.
Yeah. Well, that's what the ball's here for.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the radio operator. Can you be either in or out?
Sorry, sir.
It wasn't that time, was it? You were in the middle of talking.
Okay. Oliver, just how important was this plane for the Bristol Aircraft Company?
It was a very important aeroplane because they moved into civil aviation with the Brabazon. Although that aircraft itself wasn't a success, the technology built into it was. And a lot of that went into the Britannia. And the Britannia became a very successful commercial airline. The first airline of any sort in the world that could fly.
You became a flight sergeant, you got a crown above your tapes. And if you were alive a year later, you became a warrant officer, but they were all temporary ranks. But you've got to remember that, for example, at Runnymede, the Runnymede RAF Memorial, there are 25,000 names on that memorial, and that's aircrew who they don't know what's happened, where they are, what happened to them. It was 55,000 aircrew job with a live during the war. But
So-
when you went back in, because they were temporary ranks, I went back in as a sergeant, and then you had to wait several years to become a flight sergeant. And then a few more years become, instead of being a warrant officer, they changed the names of the ranks. They called us masters, master pilots, master navigators. And this was the NCO type, not the officer type.
So, what did you end up as in the end then? What did you come out
I
as?
ended up as a master signaller, which was the equivalent of a warrant officer again.
And you retired when? In the Iraq?
March 1968,
So you did what, 20 years then? 25?
23 and a half years.
23 and a half years. And so you saw a complete change from prop to jets and everything else then?
Yeah, I was on jets in 1957. February 57, I was on the Comets at Lynham for 6 years. So I went from piston engine airplanes doing 180 knots to jet passenger. We were the only jet passenger aircraft in the world in those days, Comet 2s.
And when you left in 68, what did you do then? Did you go into the aerospace industry?
No, I was out of work for some time, and then my son was taken ill. He died at the age of 17. So a bit of a turmoil in our lives, in our family life. But, I settled down and eventually went back to what I did after the war. I began a carpentry and joinery business, and this is most of what I do in this airplane.
Oh, right.
No, still much
You've still had a
still
varied life
under
then,
that
haven't
wood.
you? You've had a varied life, haven't you?
Yeah.
But it's nice for you to come back and potter around with this then.
I got my private pilot's license at the age of 63. How about
Did
that?
you?
And I lasted 10 years, yeah. And then
You
I
can't
was
fly
70.
anymore now.
Well, I blood pressure.
Oh. So where did you fly out of then? Here?
No, I learned to fly at Staverton at
Oh,
Gloucester.
good old Staverton, yeah. And you still go for a little trip round occasionally? Or?
Well, I get loads of offers, but
Yeah.
I'd say once you've flown solo,
Not
don't
quite
fly
the
with
same,
someone
is it?
else, it's just a passenger, you see. And, but I still love it.
Oh, right.
It's,
And were you ever on this aircraft, this particular aircraft?
yes, I've got a list there of the airplanes, where I've been on this airplane.
Oh, you've actually you were a crew of this aircraft?
Flown in this several times, yeah. I've
amazing.
been to Nairobi, Bahrain, Equatorial, Cyprus, Canada, Uganda.
you've carried everything in this, isn't it? Passengers, VIPs, cargo you shouldn't know anything about.
Yes, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the worst passengers of all, and all aircrew will tell you this, are other aircrew, sleep crews, because they're all down the back. They all want to come up the front, and I mean, there's not much room in there, but when you get another 3 or 4 people in here, it's murder. But we're all the same.
Right, let's ask you a question. Here we go. Here we go.
The actual comfort of flying in the airplane, although there appears to be not much room, it is a very, very nice airplane to fly in as a crew member, and I don't care what job you do in the airplane, whether you're a pilot, navigator, engineer or signaller or air quartermaster down the back. It was just a lovely airplane to fly in because it was so nice and quiet, and for example, your signal had wonderful thing, which is quite a change. I loved every minute of it. And,
Working on it today, what sort of feeling do you have for this aircraft, even today?
well, I love every nut and bolt on it. Because I probably spend more time on this airplane than most, because I live quite near, you see, and I've done a fair amount of work on the airplane, and I've helped Jim Cox and Jim Collier and John Bevan, the electrician, when I can, and I also sorted out the 2 original wire aerials, and I operate amateur radio from it all over the world. So no, I just love it. It's made my life, well, it's just made me, you know.
I was going to say, it's played a big part in your life, hasn't it?
Oh, sorry, Mark. I'm
Yeah. Sorry.
just in an awkward position.
Oh, right. You okay? We get everything else all right?
Yeah, it's just awkward. I can't hold it.
Okay.
Okay, that's better.
It's played a big part of your life, this particular aircraft. So, what are your feelings for it?
Well, I just love it. I just want to see it cleaned and painted, and we can carry on restoring it, because it is a very important aeroplane. It is the only ex-RAF Britannia left in the world, and there must be thousands of people in the Wiltshire area that are very well acquainted with Britannias. They might have just flown them in as passengers, you know, because there were loads of foreign companies had Britannias as well. But, well, I'm no different than the rest of the gang, you know. That's our one desire, to try and make it absolutely perfect, you know. But of course it's money, isn't it? You see, we're always short of cash.
I think
Can you
that's
just
your
switch that phone? Switch that phone off, can you? Somebody just grab it and throw it out the window? Or...
They're always there when you want them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard it was coming in October '97, I knew nothing about Kemble, although I worked in the tower for 3 years afterwards as a controller. I didn't know I was even allowed on the airfield, so I parked myself over in the lay-by across the side of the road, you see, and I filmed it, videoed it, when it arrived with the Hunter, when it did the low paths. I got most of it, but it sort of disappeared from view because of where I was. But then I got a lovely video of it landing, and it was the most fabulous thing I've seen for years. That thing going down the runway. I only wish I could have been on the airfield and watched it, you know.